What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. Got a review for you. Let's get into it. All right, guys, I get a knife here from a maker from a company that I really like. Quiet Carry has quite a few models that I have really enjoyed in the past, and I'm checking out a version that's not really new. It's newer, and I haven't had an opportunity to check this one out yet. So what are we looking at today? We are looking at the Quiet Carry Waypoint. Really like the Waypoint here. It is checking a lot of boxes right out of the box. There's just a lot here to really appreciate from this particular model. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through my normal size comparisons, profile comparisons. We'll do the weight, and then we'll do my thoughts and impressions. So let's get into it. All right, so a couple knives on the table. We got the lightweights from Spyderco. On the bottom, you got the Para 3. On the top, you got the Mannix 2. Both have the Applied Weapon Tech scales on them. And as you can see, the Waypoint is actually much larger. This is the Waypoint Large, if I didn't mention it earlier. And it is more narrow. So very gentlemanly, but much more robust and hand-filling than it was in the past. Let's do a couple more size comparisons. All right, so we have the CJRB Echo button lock here on the bottom, and on the top we got the Vero Engineering Nova, and as you can see, longer than both, more slender. The Echo is going to be a little bit smaller, so hopefully this frame of reference is really helping you. I know that Echo is a very popular model because they have budget and premium versions galore out there for you to choose from, but I really do like the Waypoint's size. Let's check out profile real quick. All right, so we have the closed up profile here, and what this allows you to do is see how is this going to carry in the pocket, how deep will it go in compared to some other models, how narrow is it, how thin it is. That way you get a really good idea of what you're looking at here, what type of carry you're looking at. So it's pretty close as far as length, but it's definitely more narrow than either one of the two on the table. And then when you talk about the thin profile, meaning how far is it going to push your pocket out, and also ergos in hand, this is a thin model for sure. And let's check it out again, the Vero Engineering Nova, which is actually a thinner version from Vero, and this is definitely thinner than both these guys out here. What I am curious about is the weight, so let's grab that scale and check it out. All right, got the scale here. We got it on. What is the Waypoint Large coming in at? Very respectable for the size. 3.4 ounces is pretty impressive considering what you're dealing with here. All right, next we're going to kick it down to the garage. We're going to do a little bit of cutting, not a lot, because it is a pass-around knife, and it is coming via the Lefty Pass-Around group. So shout out and thanks to Kevin over there at Lefty EDC for letting us check this one out. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm very interested to check this one out. The Quiet Carry kind of feels like a gentlemanly, more narrow version of the Drift LC, or the Drift L, sorry, Drift L, not the LC. Hollow ground blade. This one still had some sticky tackiness on it from the last reviewer, so I'm just going to hold off and clean that all up for the next reviewer after I'm finished here. But Van-X typically is already a really great steel, and Quiet Carry, whoever they're using in Taiwan to do these, generally do a really nice, yeah, that is just crazy good. That hollow grind and how slicey that feels, absolutely just no drag whatsoever. And then I do have this single ply piece of cardboard which has the tape on it, so you know that's why I'm not cleaning the residue off in advance. I imagine there feels like there's almost, I mean, I feel some resistance, but it's so negligible. And that wire pocket clip here is where it shines on the one that they're doing. It's thick, it's robust. You can see a little bit there that it does move a little. You can see the scratchiness that it moves, but otherwise not a ton of movement happening here, and it feels very comfortable in hand, very easy to move through the material with minimal resistance, not a lot of hot spots. So let's go ahead and clean this all up. You can see the tapes all over it now. I'll strop it a little bit for the next reviewer, but let's go back up to the table and talk a little bit about what we're seeing here with that Waypoint. Okay, guys, so I'm not going to be able to do any any tort of, I thought, booty cat, any sort of spine whacking or anything like that with this one. It's just going to be more your overview style. Because this knife is not mine, I do not own it, so I can't do that, nor can I do the disassembly. Ergo's very comfortable, guys. Even though it is thin, it's got still what I would call nice height. It is chamfered around the edges, even though it's not contoured, so it kind of gives a little bit of edge contouring, which allows for comfort in the palm where it comes and meets into the palm, and then on the edges of the inside of the knuckle when you're wrapping up. For me, this finger scallop, this finger choil section here, it locks in perfectly. Like if it was any smaller, it would be too small, and if it was any bigger, you'd have a little bit of play, which is not that big a deal. I feel that knurling there on the fingers, really nice knurling, great pattern, very textured so that you're able to get a nice grip. They didn't put it here on the pocket clip side because I think it makes it go in and out of the pocket a little bit smoother. It's not quite as grabby. And you don't have to worry about your pants being sawed when you take this one out. Simple construction here. You can too. It is two screw construction. It is captive over here. That's how you're going to be able to disassemble this particular knife. Don't see those bolts for the pocket clip going through. I can see the bolts here, but I don't see those going through the back spacer. You got a small back spacer here to add some stability, to give it some strength, to keep it from feeling like it's weak or it's going to flex. You got a ultra thin slicey blade stock, guys. This one here is 100% a slicer. You probably can do some hard use tasks with it, cutting some heavy duty stuff, but it is really a slicer, and that is really going to lend to the advantage this one's going to have going through that thick material like it did on the denim for me. Very thin hollow grind. I mean, it gets really thin behind the edge, carrying that all the way up until it starts to peer up here at the top of that hollow grind. So it is really going to move through the materials very easily, keeping the danger of this sliding out or doing something that you don't want it to do at a minimum, because it doesn't have that thicker geometry. Nice thumb studs. Good access, not the best, but good access to the lock bar. It is a washer based knife, so this one here is going to be more of your heavy duty hard use knife. The washers allow this to be able to withstand any sort of dirt, dust, and debris because it can't get in there as easily, and it's going to keep smooth action. It's not going to feel as bound up and kinked up, and it's not going to be as impacted by that. But as you can see, it is definitely not a droppy, shutty knife. Part of that might be I felt the knife just there. Let me try to come back here and see. Yeah, it's not drop shutty no matter how far I get it over. So for me, I'm going to disengage as such, and you can shake it closed, or you can just, bring it all the way closed with your index finger and take it the rest of the way home with the thumb. Good sounds. It sounds solid, guys. Sorry. I can't believe I slipped off of it, but I guess it's because it's not as much access as it is here, because this is knocked down more for the lock bar access. But I was on top of it instead of coming under it just then. But you can reverse flick it. You can really fire it with the thumb. It is just a thumb stud deployer. And you can get it really good from the other side with the thumb. Let me see. And you really can get it a lot better on the other hand with that middle finger. It's just a little bit less impactful with that right hand. Pocket clip's reversible, but I would again caution if you're a lefty and you're going to flip this one, do it right away so it doesn't scratch up your now show side scale. But it is going to move around on here. The texturing honestly might prevent that from showing the wear from the wire pocket clip going side to side. I don't know if any of the Spyderco wire clip replacements would fit on this one. Looks like you do have the relief cut on this side for the lock bar. You do have a lot of weight relief cutouts here going on inside of the steel liners. Hold on, let me see if I can get you that angle so you can see that. So you can see a lot of relief cut here. On this side, it looks like it's just where the lock bar is screwed in, maybe? I'm not, oh no, they're pins, I see them. So they're pins that kind of hold it in place until you can sandwich it closed, it looks like. Or it might be screws. It must be real shallow depth screws. But there is no weight relief on that lock bar anywhere to be seen. So it is only on that show side scale. This was really impressive. I like this one a lot. It is, if you like a gents or a more slender knife, this is really nice. I think for me, if I were choosing between this and the Drift Large or the Drift L, I'd probably go Drift L. I just like that taller, thicker blade. I know I don't have the Drift L right now, but I like the height a little bit better. I like the taller grind a little bit better. You got a flat grind on the Drift L versus the hollow grind here on the Waypoint, but honestly, they're going to both be extremely slicey knives. They're going to cut extremely well. And if you don't like a washer based knife, you have the Quiet Carry 9 is going to be an awesome alternative to this. It's going to be a clip point instead of a drop point. Well, I guess this is technically a clip point, but it has a little bit more of an aggressive clip to the point there. And I would say the Drift LC, and that's definitely going to be more saltwater or marine period, any water based knife, because that one is going to have your LC200N. It's going to have LC200N blade steel, LC200N lock bar. It's going to have stainless steel hardware, so it's going to be really corrosive resistant. It's going to be a really good knife. But I'm really taken back by Quiet Carry. I feel like for the money, especially on their premium end knives, you know, it's not cheap. It's not Kaiser cheap. It's not, you know, CJRB cheap, but it is extremely competitive considering what you're getting value for money on their premium blades. And they're just such an easy recommendation to make. Even on their Magna Cut, they're doing that at 63, 64 HRC in that area. And I think it might even be 64. So that's hard to find with Magna Cut. Magna Cut being one of those steels that you got to see cooked at a higher temperature to get the max benefit out of it. But the heat treat and the grind and everything from them, that factory that they have in Taiwan, just absolutely banging them out for Quiet Carry, and their designs are really good too. So I like this one a lot. I'd be curious to see what you think about it down in the comments below. Definitely let me know. If you enjoyed today's overview, definitely leave a like on the way out if you could. It does help the channel. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this one, and or just let me know what you're carrying in your pockets if this one wasn't really your style. Thank you, a special thank you to those channel members out there. You guys are awesome. I hope you all have a fantastic week, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.